Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, conversations and cocktails with brilliant women. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe the best stories are the ones shared over a glass of wine or a cocktail. Each week, I sit down with women who've said yes to building something meaningful, often after years of putting everyone else first. We talk business, big dreams, and the mess in between. And of course, a few favorite drinks. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. In today's conversation, I'm chatting with Nancy Griffin, founder of Women, Worth, and Wellness. Nancy's on a mission to help women recognize that their health and their wealth are deeply connected. We talk about why women shouldn't apologize for building wealth, how giving back can actually boost your own self-worth, and why it's time to step up and champion each other. Grab your favorite beverage and settle in. This one's full of encouragement and those little truth bombs that just stick with you. Here is Nancy Griffin.
Hi, Penny.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Terrific, thank you.
Wonderful. It's so nice to meet you.
Likewise. Where are you located, Penny?
I am in Iowa.
Iowa. Okay, super.
Yeah. How about you?
In Canada, in Ontario,
Oh, nice.
between Toronto and Montreal, right on Lake Ontario.
Oh, beautiful.
It's lovely. It is lovely, really lovely.
Tell my audience a little bit about you and what you're doing now, and we'll get into how you got there in a minute.
Okay, super. Well, my focus is on women, worth, and wellness, and that means women's health and wealth, net worth and self-worth, philanthropy, and legacy planning. So it's very much a holistic focus, starting with our health.
Okay, so how do you go about that? Do you teach like health and fitness, or are you encouraging women to stay healthy, to get healthy? How do you encourage us to be more healthy?
Well, this all came about when I was a wealth advisor. And as a wealth advisor, you need to go and find your own clients. Once you've got all your licenses and you've got a great company that you're about to start working with, they tell you, okay, you're ready to go. You go find your own clients. We'll tell you how to do the job, but we're not going to provide clients to you. So that's when I decided that I would focus on women. This was in the 90s, and this is just when women were really starting to earn a whole lot more and to pay attention to putting together their wealth plan. So as I started to work with women, I started to realize that women and Cal Surprise have a disproportionate amount of responsibility for their family's health and wellness. Like it's all their responsibility. It's like every family needs a nurse practitioner, and guess who? That's me. And so
Right.
that's when I thought, well, these women, they're very, very busy. How can they know everything about everything all the time? So I started to partner with not-for-profit health-related organizations that were focusing on women's health. For example, heart disease is the leading cause of death for women, not cancer. And the symptoms for heart and stroke disease for women are quite different than they are for men. And a lot of the research had been done previously on men, and women were considered to be just little men. So same symptoms. Well, hello, symptoms are quite different. And so I would do different events and invite my clients and bring their friends. I would charge them a nominal amount. So they're starting to see how charitable giving really enhances your net worth as a charitable deduction on your tax return. But at the same time, if we're in a position of giving and sharing, that more often than not enhances our own self-worth.
It's full circle.
Exactly.
I've been talking with a lot of women recently who say it's still the same way. Most of the tests are still not done on women. There are a lot of gaps in that knowledge, that research. How do we fix that?
Invest in it. Invest in it. And that's why the charitable giving, a nominal amount, fast forward 31 years later, women now are stewarding a lot more wealth that they both earn, as well as they are now inheriting, with a whole lot more inheritances to come. So women more than ever really need to pay attention to how they steward wealth, because it is such an incredible opportunity. If that's something that you care about, then pay attention to all of the dynamics that you can address all the way through. It truly makes a huge, huge difference.
Mm, it's brilliant. When you have money, you can change the world. You can change your mind, but it takes a dollar to change the world.
Wow.
Yeah, so true.
Eh, Well, you see what Mackenzie Scott is doing and Melinda French Gates. I mean,
Yes.
those women are rock stars. Really, what they're doing is so fabulous. I mean, their husbands turned out to not be nice people, but at the end of the day, they got a bagload of money, each of them, and they
Mm-hmm.
could have just, kept it and done nothing with it. But instead, they're really, really, really making a difference by using their wealth to make a difference in the world. And while they're doing it, they're becoming incredible role models.
Mm.
So really, really, really special. And every woman has the same opportunity. Obviously, we don't have the billions, excuse me, that they do. But with your wealth, you certainly do have an opportunity to make a difference.
They're leading the way.
Yes.
It even goes back to like 70s and before when women weren't in the workforce. They weren't in leadership roles. And it took somebody to break that ceiling and show that it's possible. Here's what can be done when you put your heads together and when we really support women and look at all the good that can come from it.
Exactly. No,
Wow.
it's truly amazing. And it's taking a long time. I mean, certainly we're not there yet for women to
Mm,
realize their incredible opportunity of stepping out and stepping up and not being
mm-hmm,
disrespectful. It's just, the brand Women, Worth, and Wellness. The worth is that you're worthy. Every single woman is worthy of living their best life. But in order to do that, you've got to make yourself the priority first. You're
mm.
worthy because
That's
it's like the airline example. You put the oxygen on
exactly.
yourself first.
Exactly. I think that's so hard for women, especially to put yourself first. You have to be able to be your full, whole self, to be able to serve others.
Women don't like to be selfish, not at all. But when
No.
it comes to looking after yourself, you do, because more often than not, nobody else is. And also, one woman's power to help others is huge. So just know that you are the number one asset. You are the number one asset, and you're the number one agent to look after that number one asset. So never apologize and never feel guilty. Just know that your true power and your true best self comes from making you the number one priority. And you do that quietly. You don't have to be blatant and disrespectful. You just have a lot of conversations with yourself on how you can continue to strengthen yourself and reinforce exactly where you're going and what you want and what you can do and how you can be helpful. Because, in my opinion, that is true, true, true power.
Mm, I agree. That's so a powerful insight. I
Mhm.
feel like when we support each other too, like when we talk with our girlfriends about this, about how can we support each other in lifting each other up and finding ways to be more resourceful, finding ways to gain more wealth, finding ways to not apologize
No,
for being, having a business, for earning an income, a healthy income. I think we sell ourselves short. We don't give ourselves enough credit, but our girlfriends see it in us. We can
right.
lift each other up. How would you suggest that people start, kind of dip a toe into philanthropy or into gaining wealth or, just getting started with the mindset shifts that you're talking about?
Well, you're absolutely right. First is step out and step up. And if you're just starting, I mean, the younger you start, the better it is. But it's never too late, as the saying goes, ever,
Mm,
never, ever, ever. And we know that often in a couple who are seniors, if Mr. passes on, this may be the first time that Mrs. has had any opportunity to pay
mm,
attention to the whole wealth scenario. So what is
mhm.
she going to do? Well, she's going to get started and she's going to start to understand. Actually, part of the blessing of all of that is you can ward off Alzheimer's because you've now got a new exercise for your brain. But people often ask, well, where do I begin? Well, just about every one of us has a bank account. So we're working with a bank in some form or another, possibly all online, but go into a bank and talk to the teller. If you're just starting, just say, I'm just getting started. Who in your branch is somebody that I might book an appointment with? And start
Mm.
that conversation. And the comparison that I make between health and wealth is you must always have a trusted advisor with whom you're working. And a trusted advisor is somebody who has the professional designations and experience. But most importantly, they've got your back because that
Mm.
person needs to go out of their way for you. And the first order of business is if you go to a new doctor or a new medical practitioner, the first order of business is they'll order up blood work because they need to
Mm.
get a read on who are
A
you. I
baseline.
mean, that's right. You will tell them a lot of things, but they also want that physical info. Same thing with a new wealth advisor. They will sit you down and they'll take you through everything. Just a complete inventory of all your assets, all your liabilities, all your income, all your obligations. And that then, to your point, becomes their baseline. And then, of course, okay, what are we working towards? What are the goals? And you just build it out from there. And if you're just getting started, same framework as it would be if you've inherited a whole pile of money and now you're going to work with some sophisticated advisor. Very same thing. And in both instances, both professions, if that professional has not taken that baseline, they are at risk of losing their licenses. Because
Mm.
that is what that is what both of those businesses are all about, is knowing your client, knowing your patient, and then bringing their best professional expertise to your attention to then work with you to help you to be your best.
Mm. Wow. I think a lot of us don't understand the whole process or don't understand ways that we can, I guess, protect wealth and build it. I was talking with a girlfriend who is also a financial planner. Um, and she had some ideas on charitable giving where, if you know the tax laws, there are some ways that you can protect, you lower your tax obligation by your charitable giving and create this a plan for giving more each year. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, it is exactly what you've said. Every charitable donation is a deduction from your income tax return. And of course, the more you give, the more impactful that deduction will be. But fast forward to inheriting wealth and stewarding wealth and being a philanthropist, if you're making a big commitment with a large sum of money, that impacts your bottom line incredibly so. And a big, big, big opportunity is for that final tax return. If you have designated some philanthropic statement or an insurance policy or whatever, your friend will know this. It's huge, absolutely huge. When somebody passes on and their executors are now doing the final tax return and they see the amount of tax that is now due, it's like, oh my goodness. And at that point in time, they often find out what else could have been done that would have alleviated that huge tax bill.
Mm.
So this is the whole point, is make sure
Hmm.
you're educating yourself to all the possibilities well in advance of all those scenarios so that you don't have regrets.
Yeah, that's important. If only we had a crystal ball, right?
Right, right.
Well,
Well,
that's
people say in case something should happen, well, guess what? Something will happen. We
yeah.
just don't
Hmm.
know when or how or where or whatever.
Yeah.
But smart women have anticipated that and
Hmm.
have put systems in place to protect themselves in the event that it does happen.
Hmm. Do you feel like there's a minimum amount that you should get started with? I mean, do you have to build a certain amount before you should talk to an advisor or talk to someone about your future planning?
No, not at all. If you have an attitude that you want to get started, then do it. Do it. Like, what are you
Hmm.
waiting for? And it's all about time. The time is your friend as it pertains to a wealth plan, getting investments, getting that protection in place. The sooner you begin, the better it is. Then I mentioned insurance because the sooner you have insurance, the less it will cost you.
Oh, right. Yeah, life insurance is when you're healthy is a lot
Exactly. And
cheaper.
young, and young. And
Hmm.
it doesn't cost as much.
Mm-hmm.
And life insurance is so powerful. I mean, when you're a wealth advisor and you introduce, okay, let's talk about insurance for all the right reasons, the client often looks at you like, insurance. I knew you were going to try to sell me something I didn't want to buy. Okay, well, let's work this through. You own a home. Have you got any insurance on your home? Have you got any insurance on your belongings? You are a more important asset than that home ever will be. So are you protecting yourself and anticipating what potentially could happen in the future? And that's why I ended up focusing on health first. Health is the
Mm-hmm.
cornerstone. If you don't have your health, you're not going anywhere anytime soon. So
Mm.
health is so important, but so is anticipating health challenges in your wealth plan.
Right, right. We'd all love to stay healthy.
No, 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 no.
It's not very likely.
No, no, no. Life unfolds and things happen. And it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that this is happening now. Well, unfortunately, sometimes it is, and sometimes it is a real shock and a real setback.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're protecting yourself, not only yourself, but those around you, those that you
Correct.
love, your family.
Right.
Because, yeah, if
And,
you
and
have
that
to go if you have a health concern, it's expensive. And they're
very,
going to take, assets that you have that you own to pay for those hospital bills and all.
and
I'm,
that's why having a wealth advisor with whom you can have that confidential discussion is so, so, so important. But you need to make sure you're working with the right person that gives you a level of confidence that that person is very aware of all the possibilities and is paying
Mhm.
attention to your situation in such a way that they can build the best plan going forward.
Mm. Yeah, it's kind of delicate, right? For you, for health advisors, because no one wants to talk about getting sick or
No,
dying or
no, 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 not at all. I
how
don't
do you
have clients anymore. I just have my women worth and wellness business, and it's really interesting because I was at a friend's wedding recently.
Mhm.
And so I know what their wealth plan is that I put in place that a new person is now working with them on. But at this wedding was a referral that they sent my way. And
Mhm.
of course, this couple, I know their situation. And often now when I see them, they keep thanking me. They keep saying, thank you so much for getting us involved with blah, blah, whatever. And it's years later, but the good news is that they appreciate what they have that
Mhm.
gives them such a level of confidence that should anything happen, they are protected.
Mm. That's such a, a central piece of mind.
It is definitely,
Wow.
definitely. And, none of us wants to go forward into the future with worries.
Right.
So address things that you're worried about and seek help. Seek advice from a professional who can help you. That's their
Mhm.
job. And your job is to ask a lot of questions and to make sure that you've got everything in order to the extent that you would like to have it in order.
Mhm. Yeah, I think people don't realize that I need to talk to someone now while I'm healthy, while I'm, considering the future. It's when things happen to us that we go, oh, I should have protected that.
Exactly.
Or,
Yeah.
wow. How do you bridge that gap for people? I mean, how do you encourage people to come to you or to come to their financial advisor or to anyone to talk about this kind of thing?
Well, now what I'm doing is a lot of different events, and more often than not, I will have a wealth advisor as a sponsor. So if a person has done nothing, or if a person has done a lot, I will encourage that person to get a second opinion on their situation. And smart women will always get a second opinion. Doesn't mean you're going to do it every month or even every year, but a smart woman will get a second opinion. So I've now introduced a resource to this person and encourage them to access this person's services. But as the saying goes, you can take a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink.
Uh-huh.
So I just, I know women are smart. I know women are very busy. I know they've got a lot of responsibilities. I know that women always want to do the right thing. So all I can do is attempt to inspire them and give them some idea of with whom they might approach. And if they don't, then I'm disappointed in them. I'm disappointed that they didn't do it because everything is there. And being a smart woman, you want the best in place for yourself and your family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure it's somewhat sad to see too. If something were to happen to someone that doesn't take the advice or doesn't seek out more help, and
Mhm.
then something happens, I would be sad about that.
Yeah, very sad. Very
Mm.
sad. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, it's wonderful that you're collaborating with other experts too. I feel like when
Always.
women come together, we could change the world.
Right. And women need to go out of their way to be champions for one another.
Mm,
Sometimes that isn't always the case. Sometimes women don't pull out all the stops for another person. My attitude is in this world, it isn't all about you. Like
mhm,
your life is about doing the best, being the best you can be so that you can help others be the best they can be. And so be a champion for other women to the very best possible way you can.
mhm. The more women I talk to, a lot of women have a hard time, I feel like it's the corporate structure, the patriarchal, the way we're taught to be in business, in corporate settings. It's very cutthroat, very competitive, it's a pie,
Yeah,
because I
right.
win, you lose, that kind of thing. Where women that have broken out of corporate settings and have started their own thing, they've become entrepreneurs, or maybe they're taking their own path, they've started their own companies or their own businesses, they lead from the heart and with their own souls, and
Right.
when they're in alignment with their true purpose of serving others and in using their particular gifts in ways that serve others, that's when things come together, that's when the collaborations form, because we're all supporting each other and using our gifts together. That's magic, in my opinion. I feel like
It
that's
is.
the way to really move through the world as a woman, as a leader, as a thought leader. Uh, yeah, just to encourage other women to come together and build wealth. I think you're on the right track with, when we've come together, we've taken leadership roles, we're supporting each other, we're leading from the heart, we're serving others. Okay, now let's build some wealth so that we can make a real impact on some of the things that are, lacking in this world.
Right. And don't be embarrassed to do that because
Right.
sometimes women hold back because they think they will be seen as being too aggressive or too self-serving or too whatever. Well, never
Mm-hmm.
mind. Step out and step up and take a lot of other people with you. Recently I had a person say to me, you can be really aggressive. I said, thank you for that compliment. But they didn't necessarily mean it
At
as
a
a
girl.
compliment
Yeah.
because you're stepping up and stepping out. And so I just said, thank you so much for that compliment. And whatever, like, don't let other
Mm-hmm.
people put you down. You've
Yeah.
got a lot of unique ability that you can offer and be very
Mm-hmm.
proud and very happy and very confident to keep on sharing your unique ability. But
Exactly.
respectfully, you're not going to be a mean person. I think meanness
Right.
needs to go out of your whole mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Just be the best you can be and help others be the best they can be to the best of
Yeah.
your ability.
Mm-hmm. Two things stuck out to me there. No one would say that to a man, first of all. You're being too
Mhm.
aggressive. Really? No, that's not going to
No,
happen. No one says that.
no, no,
Yeah. Eh,
nobody would say that to a man.
no, absolutely not. The other piece of that was the person who said that to you. Are they doing great things in the world? Are they making, no, are they being seen? Are they afraid to be seen? I mean, I feel like that's a lot of projection. Someone
I,
saying that to you has only got, they've got some sort of piece of themselves that they would like to change and be a little bit more assertive, probably.
well, I was quite shocked when the person said that. And then I did reflect and wonder, and I thought, you know what? The reason why they're saying that is that they feel that I'm moving into their territory, and
Mm.
this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And who do you think you are? And what I did was I step out and invited somebody to do something that needed to be done sooner rather than later that this
Mm-hmm.
person should have done. And
Oh.
I think that was why they struck out like that.
Mm.
And so I just said, thank you. This is something that needed to be done and, blah, 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 blah. But, when people try to stop your show, then
Hmm.
be your own agent.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so parallel with like the online space that a lot of us are in. You post something online because it's important to be visible. You can't serve people if they don't know you exist.
Correct. Yeah.
You have to be out there. So you'll get these trolls that pop on and, might say something mean or nasty. And they're saying it from their mother's basement. So go away,
Right.
just take a seat until you're willing to do something that's important and that helps people. Then you have nothing to say.
There's no point taking people on like that. If that
No.
pops up, I delete it as quickly as I can. I
Mm,
want absolutely nothing more to do with that person because they've been rude and they've been disrespectful. And
mm.
if
Yeah.
that's your opinion, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. Delete. Bye.
Yeah.
It's best to just let it go. And people like that who make those kinds of statements, those blatant statements to take you on, really, 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 really want you to engage.
Oh,
Don't go
yeah.
for it. Don't go for it.
Yeah.
Don't go for it. It's
Exactly.
like those phone calls that come in and it says likely spam.
Mm,
Like, don't go for it.
yeah.
Just ignore it.
Delete.
Delete
Yep.
it. Get it out of your life.
Yeah.
One of the other messages that I share with people a lot is that you live your life as a split screen because the negative
Mm,
stuff always comes front and center. Don't allow it.
yeah.
Fade it to black and default immediately to something that's a positive because that negativity will wear you down and take the best of you away so
Yeah.
that there's not room for all the positive things that your unique ability can bring forward. So
Eight.
just split screen.
That's such great advice. It's so easy for us to take that little bit, and it's always a little thing. It's always, the percentage of the nastiness is so small compared
Right.
to the good that's coming from it.
Correct.
But we take that on, that small piece, and it just bugs, it eats at us.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. I have different people who will now comment and say, Nancy, thank you for always being a cheerleader, whatever. That's a
Yep.
great compliment.
Yeah.
And that's your MO, that's your profile on social
Hmm.
media when you're being a champion for others. So that's a great idea. And whatever, blah, blah,
Yep.
blah.
Yep. Move along.
Right, right. Next.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay. So what other advice would you have for women? Um, like somebody, I don't know, what would you say to any woman that would walk in and say, I need some help? How would you,
Well, I'd say congratulations for asking for help, period.
nice.
That's a
Mm-hmm.
first good step. And
Mm-hmm.
then I would start with, okay, you're worthy. Let's talk. Like, what is your situation and how can I help? And
Mm,
then simply work it up from there. But if they've stepped out and they've asked for help, that is you're half of the way there. You're really
that's
half of
nice.
the way there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just see the difference in people's demeanor. Talk
Mm-hmm.
about a spring in their step when they start, because if you don't reach out, it's just a big swirl in your own head. At the
So
same
true.
time, you're trying to do everything else that you're responsible for. You're just not moving off the mark.
Mm-hmm.
And moving off the mark is crucial. Like step it up and step it out. And that's why I'd say you're worthy, you're the number one asset. Have conversations with yourself and then determine, okay, what am I reaching for? What do I want? What do I need? Where am I headed? And then once
Mm-hmm.
you've got some idea of what sort of help you need, then you kind of know which way to go to get that help.
Mm-hmm.
And if you reach out and it's a bad experience, don't do a turtle and pull back and never head out again. I mean, don't.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
Yeah.
We all know and we all say life is too short. Where does the time go? Blah, 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 blah. Well, don't waste any time agonizing. Just keep going.
Right. Right. So many of the women that I work with, when I start working with them, they don't know what they want. They don't have a clear picture of a goal, or they might have a desire, but they don't know how to get there, or what it really, it's not a clear picture yet. It's just kind of fuzzy. How do you help women figure that part out, what they want, what they truly want?
Well, a simple topic that has become quite popular, both personally and corporately, is what is your purpose? What is your
Mm-hmm.
purpose? If you
Mm-hmm.
think about a big corporation and that executive team going through an exercise of what is our company's purpose,
Mm-hmm.
you can imagine all those conversations. But it's the same thing with an individual. And I think you just keep asking questions. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think your purpose is? How do you feel about what you think your purpose is? And then depending on what their response is, keep asking more questions. Well,
Mm-hmm.
is it this or is it that? Maybe it's this. Have you thought about that? Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But what is your purpose? What is your purpose? I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that you're alive and well and on this world,
Mm-hmm.
what is your purpose? Like, in other words, what do you want to make the most out of your existence? So
Yeah. Who do
just
you
keep
serve?
right. Just keep asking those kinds of questions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. One of the things that I teach or coach women on is moving towards your older, wiser self because
Mhm.
she already knows.
Right.
So she's trying to bring you towards her. What would she want for you? What what can you see in your future? Because she already knows.
Mhm.
So
Right.
just the quieter we can get, the more we can sit still with the question. I think
Correct.
you know who you serve
Mhm.
and you know those answers. There are no questions that we have where there's not an answer already for it
Right.
within us. So just sitting still with the question and letting it come to us. That big overall arching your purpose, it seems so big, but it's just really your soul telling you who do you serve? How can you
And
best serve them?
right. And the more conversations you have with people, the more input you are given. So
Mm-hmm.
then you can sort that through and maybe get a few aha moments. I'll give you an
Yes.
example. When my first career was with Procter and Gamble, and then I
Mm.
left and ran politically. And then I was doing all kinds of leadership in the community. And
Wow.
that's when I wanted to go back to working in a full-time role. So I had an idea of what I wanted to do, and I was offered a contract with a particular organization. And through that process, I met this executive woman who had been outplaced and given a bagload of money, went to an advisor, really felt they didn't have a clue on how to serve her well. So she then decided that she wanted to be a wealth advisor. So
Ah,
she and I interacted. I told her what I was planning on doing. And she said, Nancy, I'm not sure that that's a good idea for the next 20 years of your life. Are you sure that's really what you want to do? And she's the person who redirected me into wealth management.
mm,
And once I got there, I was sorry I hadn't been there 20 years earlier. Like it
wow.
was just amazing. But the whole point of me sharing that is I would never, ever, ever have been in wealth management except for her redirecting me 180 degrees.
Mm,
So pay
wow.
attention to what other people think are your best strengths, your purpose. Let other
Mm-hmm.
people ask other people. What do you
Yeah.
think? When you look at me, what are the things that you see me doing that you think are terrific? Ask those questions, get input. And
Mm,
you don't have to do anything with it other than hear what they have to say and add it into the whole
mhm.
consideration.
Yeah. Well, like we were talking about earlier, a good girlfriend will tell you your strengths
Hmm.
and your
Right.
weaknesses,
Yes, yes,
and what you're good at. I mean, it's so good to have those conversations, not only to, maybe redirect yourself or understand a little bit more of how you impact others around you. Because we all
right.
have that idea in our own head about, I know what I'm good at.
Yes, yes,
Well, you may be blind to some of these things that others see in you that you
right.
don't. And girlfriends are going to, give you the straight up truth. They're not
Correct.
going to sugarcoat it. They're not going to be, um, they're not going to blow smoke. They're not going
No,
to say
right,
something that's
exactly.
not true.
No, yep,
Oh, I love it.
definitely.
Yeah. Asking questions, get a good coach, get someone who can ask the right questions so that you can think about it a little bit more and sit with the question and think of something that you haven't thought of.
Extremely important.
Yeah.
Extremely important. Really, really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Because
Get
what you want to
somebody
do is, yeah, take your strengths and how do I make them even better?
right. Right. Find somebody who's 10% ahead of you.
Right.
and ask them some questions like, how did you
Mhm.
get where you are, and what would you have done differently? How do you feel about what you're doing now? Do you love it? Are we serving the same kind of audience? That kind of thing.
Really important. Really
Mm-hmm.
important. Great idea.
Wow, nice. So is it all women that you work with
Primarily,
primarily?
primarily, but
That's nice.
certainly when I've done a lot of work with men,
Mm-hmm.
and that's great. That's
Mm-hmm.
great. And they know that I do a lot of work with women. So
Mm-hmm.
that just enhances that relationship as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Yeah.
terrific, but it's primarily women, definitely.
Yeah.
I think that women are just, we had a presentation a week ago, and that was one of the things that was brought up is women are an untapped resource to do so much better in the world. And we
Mm.
know who's running the world currently.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so we want women to step it up. Like, don't
Yes.
hold back. You've got capacity, you've got capability. Do it. Do
Yes,
it.
please.
Do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that's so important too. t- to lead with heart and soul instead of power.
Oh,
Your power
exactly.
is in your heart and soul. It's how
Exactly.
can you serve others instead of what's in it for me or for the, immediate people around me.
Well said. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I read somewhere that a true leader is a person who creates other fabulous leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not about you, it's about you leading the way to bring other leaders forward. I thought that
Yeah.
is so true.
Yeah.
That is spot on.
I don't know who said it too, but there's a proverb about your community is only as great as your weakest link, as your
Yes,
weakest person.
right.
So if we lift everyone up, it serves everyone.
Correct.
Yeah. I feel
Exactly.
like women are kind of uniquely situated, or we understand we're nurturers.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much
And,
so.
not everybody, but it's not
No,
a blanket statement. But yeah, in general, we lead differently.
we definitely do. We
Mm-hmm.
definitely do. And I also say that we always know the difference between right and wrong. Whatever
Yes.
situation we get in the middle of, we know
Mm-hmm.
what's right and we know what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And more often than not, it's what we know is wrong that we want to deal with because it's not right when,
Mm-hmm.
a certain person is behaving in that way. We know that that's
Injustices.
wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so don't shy away from it.
Mm.
Find a way to step it up and make a difference and change things for the better going forward.
Mm-hmm. It's hard to stick your neck out, though, don't you feel?
Very hard. Women don't
Mm-hmm.
do that. Women don't like to do that.
We don't want to
Women
be.
don't like to do that because it's like,
Yeah.
who does she think she is?
Yeah.
What is she doing? Well, I'll tell you who she is. She's somebody who's wanting to make a difference
Yeah.
and who is assuming that leadership role on her way to making a difference. And if you want to be part of helping out, and if you've got a better idea, then you step up with your leadership and maybe it will
Mm.
end up being better than what she's advocating. But don't just sit back and criticize. I mean, that's the
Right.
worst thing you can do.
Right.
That's the worst thing.
Yeah. If you're not doing anything about it, then
Right.
you have
Stop
no
talking
voice.
about it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
No, step it
Yeah.
up. Everybody can make a little tiny difference or a big, huge difference. Just put your neck out and do something.
Yeah. That's risky. I feel like women, especially, we don't want people to dislike us.
No,
We
no, no.
But yeah, that's getting over that, knowing that not everybody's going to like you. Not
Right,
everybody's going to be on board with your ideas or what you want to have happen.
right.
But there are a certain number that are sitting in the background hoping somebody steps up and does what you
Correct.
want. Yeah.
Right, right. Exactly. And you can
Yeah.
do it all in a very respectful way.
Yeah. Absolutely. Mm. Nancy, what haven't I asked you that you would love to share with people?
Well, I think going back to the beginning, that the whole brand is a holistic one. It really is. And at
Mm.
different points in time, different people are in, different parts of that whole scenario. But I think the most important is that everybody's worthy. We are our own assets, a terrific asset. So we need to pay attention to our health. Otherwise, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. So be the best you can be, however that is, get as much information about how to be healthy, what to anticipate going forward. And then the whole wealth scenario is huge because we all need money in order to live and do the things that we want to do. And the more we share that wealth, the bigger the difference we can make. A little bit goes a long way, but a big amount goes an even further way.
Mm.
But if you're thinking philanthropically, then, and to your point about your friend who's the financial planner, it's one thing to agree to be a philanthropist and you've got some ideas about what you want to do, but make sure you know where those dollars are going and that that
Mm.
organization is stewarding that wealth as well as you're stewarding your wealth. So I think the overriding phrase that I leave with people is to be discerning every step of the way, like really be discerning. Pay attention to what's going on, get as much information as you possibly can, get references, get whatever you need to validate your choice as being the best that it possibly can be so that you don't want to have any surprises. You don't want
Mm.
regrets, but you don't want surprises either.
That's a very good point.
Mhm.
Yeah. We have good intentions. I feel everyone has good intentions, but yeah, you can be surprised if you
Right.
don't do the
Right.
research.
Right. And now it's back to school time. I mean, now it's the homework about your life. That's the
Yeah.
homework that you have to do is pay attention to how your existence can be the very best that it possibly can be. And if it is, then obviously you're able to help others and help their existence be a positive one as well.
Mm, wonderful. That's a great way to view the whole thing. It's
Mhm.
wonderful. Okay. Can I switch gears on you?
Yes, definitely.
One of the things that I love to ask at the end of my conversations, just wrap it up with something fun. Do you have a favorite beverage? Do you have a cocktail that you love, or a glass of wine
Favorite
that you
beverage,
prefer?
probably gin and tonic. Gin and
Gin
tonic.
and tonic.
I love gin
Nice.
and tonic. Lime or lemon, I don't care. Maybe one
Oh,
of
nice.
each.
Ooh,
Yeah,
fancy.
yeah, exactly.
Wonderful.
This,
What kind of gin do you use? Do you have a preference on gin?
not really. Not really. I think nope, they're all good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're Bombay
Okay,
fans
Bombay,
here.
yep.
Yep. Kind of
Well,
crisp.
one that I've been accessing recently is Boodles. I don't know if you know
Boodles.
Boodles,
No.
but then the other one is Beefeater. So it's
Oh,
between,
Beefeater. Yeah.
yeah, my husband, if he's buying, he buys Beefeater. But anyway, as long as it's gin and tonic, I'm happy. I'm happy.
That's wonderful. Awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a favorite memory shared with, like chats with girlfriends or with family or friends?
A favorite memory. Well, probably a favorite memory would be, I mean, what comes to mind immediately is Canadian mountain holidays, which is heli hiking or heli skiing. So we went heli hiking, and that's with
What?
helicopters. And every time the helicopter, you initially fly in to this
Uh-huh.
camp where you're going to be for the next 5 days.
Oh my
And,
goodness.
and then every morning they fly you to different locations. But every time the helicopter comes, it's like, this is so exciting. So
Yeah.
exciting. That was terrific. That
It
was
sounds
terrific.
amazing.
Yeah, really, really great. And for every age group, the
Oh,
first afternoon, they assess you in terms of what group you should be in. So if
okay.
you've brought your grandkids or grandpa's there or whatever, there's just a really gentle. So they fly
Oh.
you up and you can have your
Mhm.
lunch and you can look around. You don't have to do any hiking and then back on the helicopter and, back down again.
Oh.
So it's every age group. I recommend it to people who are thinking, people often have that kind of a special family reunion and they go on a cruise somewhere. I
Mm-hmm.
would I would recommend this instead. I would definitely recommend it
Wow. That
because on a
sounds
cruise, a
amazing.
lot of it is internally focused,
Mm-hmm.
whereas this, you are in nature like you've never seen before. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just lovely, really lovely.
Wow. Is this part of a national celebration that
It
is?
it's just a business. It's called Canadian Mountain heli hiking, I think, but there's also heli skiing through all these crazy
Wow.
terrains. I would never do that. I would be
Mm.
inside out and upside down in 2 seconds. But in the summertime, it's just excellent,
Oh,
really good.
yeah. Oh, it sounds delightful.
Well, I think if you Googled heli hiking, you
Mm-hmm.
would find what's available in the US. This is the
Okay.
Canadian offering, but I'm
Yeah.
sure you would have it in the US somewhere.
Wonderful. Well,
But re
Banff has been on my husband and our travel
okay.
list for a
Well,
while.
that's exactly where we went from.
Oh,
That's where the
lovely.
bus picked us up. We went on
Yeah.
the train across Canada
Okay.
and then met up with a group in Banff.
Uh-huh.
And you get on a bus and you go to Golden, BC, like 2 hours away or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where you meet the helicopter. And then you go zip-de-dee-doo-dah. No, if you should definitely combine the two. You'd have a
Yeah.
blast. You'd just love it.
Oh my gosh, it sounds amazing.
Yep.
I have goosebumps.
Perfect. No, it's so great. So great. Really, really
Nice.
wonderful.
Oh, it sounds awesome. Oh, Nancy, thank you so much for
You're
all of
welcome.
this. This has been lovely.
My pleasure. Well, we've kicked off the new year, so everybody can do their homework on their own life.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Well, and you have resources on your website that people can check out.
Yes,
Is
the
that
best thing I'm suggesting to people, because we're going to do something this fall, and that
okay?
is to send me an email so you'll go into my database and
Okay.
then we will tell you what's going on. And if you don't like any of it, then you can unsubscribe very, very easily. But
Uh-huh.
my email is nancy@womenworthwellness.com. So nancy@womenworthwellness.com.
Okay.
And people can ask me whatever they want to ask me, and I will give them my best answer and redirect them to wherever.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all your advice and your
You're welcome.
information. It's been a
My
wonderful chat.
pleasure. Good questions.
Great.
Have, have a great day.
Thanks. You too.
You're welcome. Bye for now. Bye
Bye.
bye.